everybody. Welcome to Disabilities Redefined with Dr. Wagner. I am here with two very, very special and very smart guests, Elaine Katz and Dr. John O'Neill from the Kessler Foundation. And they're bringing us a survey they have done in 2020. It is the 2020 Kessler Foundation National Employment and Disability Survey of recent college graduates. And a very good survey. I enjoyed reading it. I read it over last night and I have some questions. But first of all, would one of you like to explain really what is the purpose of the survey?
Yeah, so I'll go first. So the purpose of our study was really to look at the experiences of recent college graduates in employment. So Kessler Foundation funds an external grant-making program in employment, both nationally and in New Jersey. And we talked to a lot of professionals and organizations, and there's always the concern that you're directing students and guiding them into higher education or careers, but what is really the experience of happening to the students once they go through school and they graduate? So that was really the main purpose of the study, and then we created research questions around that, which I'll let John answer.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
One of the research questions was focused on college students with disabilities engaging in career preparation, and we wanted to know whether their engagement in career preparation was similar to students without disabilities. We also wanted to know whether students with disabilities are successfully transitioning to work after graduation. And we wanted the comparison of students without disabilities. So if there were disparities, we could talk about them. And we also wanted to know the job characteristics and the quality of the jobs that students with disabilities were getting, again, in comparison to students without disabilities. And all of our participants were between the ages of, I think, 20 and 35. So they definitely grew up during the ADA, when the ADA was in place. And so, unfortunately, we don't have a pre-ADA comparison, but this is what we have.
Right.
And I think it's also important to add that these were college graduates that have recently completed higher education in the past 5 years.
Right.
And it was a national study, very diverse. There were almost over 4,700 participants, half with disabilities and half without disabilities, racially mixed. And the predominant disability was mental health that was identified, followed by cognition, and then followed by learning disabilities.
Wow, okay, well thank you very much for that information. So Dr. O'Neill, you're saying ADA. For those people out there, I think probably most people watching this show would know, but the ADA is the American with Disabilities Act. And now that's new. So if you're 25 and 30, then you could be considered within the ADA generation, 25 to 30 at 2021. Okay, 25 to 30 is in fact the ADA generation. Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
But I think, getting back to your original question, which is related to what John just said, I think the important message of our survey is that a college education pays off for young adults with disabilities, especially those who've graduated within the past 5 years, because we saw them 90% report holding jobs. And so that's the key. I mean, when you think about what's going on now with COVID and things being remote, especially now, it's a good opportunity if young adults are thinking about reentering school or going to school. This is a really good time because it does pay off. And John may want to talk a little bit about the kinds of education settings that does pay off.
There were several factors, several experiences that were very related to students with disabilities becoming employed after graduation. And those factors were taking advantage of, utilizing the college services that existed, which included the offices for students with disabilities, but it also included using career counseling services that were targeted toward the whole population. And also doing internships or being working while they're in college. Those were all positively related to being employed after college. So
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, you've answered a few questions. I did want to point out that you all did say that college does pay off. Very good and refreshing to read that 80% of the disabled students that graduated that you were in the survey are working, and 79% that were non-disabled are working. So
Right.
there's actually a higher percentage of disabled students working, and that was actually very, very refreshing and interesting. And I'm glad we can say that on this show, and hopefully more people will pay attention to that, right?
Well, that's one of the myths that we're busted.
Right.
Right.
Well, you answered already a few questions, but I did want to touch on another factor here that I did like quite a good bit, and that of course was faculty advisor or mentor. According to the survey, 60% of students with disabilities had a faculty or advisor or mentor, and only 56 that were non-disabled had a faculty advisor or a mentor. What do we think was going on there? What do we think that is?
Well, my hunch is that students with disabilities have had to strive and find ways to fill gaps that may be different types of gaps in their lives prior to entering college. So they may be primed to take advantage of the services that exist, particularly the mentoring. That would be my hunch. It's not, it's not, we didn't study that specifically, but it may be related to that particular outcome.
And we did see that, we found through some of the questions that students were seeking out opportunities and engage with career services on campuses. So they were being proactive as well, seeking opportunities to connect with people.
Right. Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much. It all sounds very interesting. Just quickly, where can they find anybody watching that would like to read the survey on their own? Where can they locate the survey? Is it open to the internet, on the internet?
The information is on our website at Kessler Foundation, .org. And if you look under the Center for Employment Research, you'll find it right there.
Right, and it is 2020 Kessler Foundation National Employment and Disability Survey, recent college graduates. Okay, thank you guys so much. Dr. O'Neill, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Always good to see you. And Elaine, we just saw each other not that long ago at our Real Abilities meeting. So it's always good to see you too. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.